history of gospel music that we don't always see and don't always know. And it's a very personal kind of history. It is a very personal history, actually, which I think makes it even more interesting because it isn't textbook. It is the history of the people who made it in their own words, speaking together. But more than that, in this film, you experience the power of gospel music and what that power is and where that power comes from and what it gives people, what it really is. Thomas Dorsey, in his own words, and singing at that time in his life, I was reduced to tears.
Thomas Dorsey is such a fascinating figure because gospel was a unique genre in itself, that it was really a way of combining sacred and secular music.
This was the first time that I really understood on a deeply personal level what this fusion meant and what it means and why it was so important. You know, Mahalia Jackson would say they would want her to sing jazz and she would never do it. I listened to that. I understood that on a very, intellectual level, but in terms of what it meant for how people feel about themselves, about their relationship to God, and about the gift of music, where it comes from, what it means, and how they must use it to affect people, to uplift people, to pull people through. It's a very personal matter. And that's what comes through in this film. I saw that and understood it on another level this time. You know, what struck me most when she talked about having to leave her children at the train station and how they felt and how she felt without saying all of it. I saw it and I understood it. I understood it because I've experienced this. Sometimes our work takes us away from home, takes us away from family, takes us away from our children. It isn't ideal, and yet this is the work that we're called to do.
Yes, and then we see another situation where we have an iconic gospel singer, Dolores Barrett Campbell from the Barrett Sisters from Chicago, where she's negotiating this situation where she wants to go on tour, but her husband is opposed to it. And we see the way that this woman, like all women, juggle their professional and their personal obligations. What a scene that is.
What a scene that is. Everything is so plain. Everything is right there in front of you, right? And you see the things that are being said and the things that aren't being said. But why should a woman have to choose? She handled it very, very well, I thought. And I thought, oh, that's a good lesson. Because she didn't argue and she didn't quarrel. She maintained her gracious stance.
Yes, and the director, George Nirenberg, did just a remarkable job of giving us a cultural history that we can all benefit from, but also just really humanizing these figures. And I'm sure a lot of those aspects resonated with you as well.
They absolutely did. This cultural experience through a very personal lens, it's so much better than intellectual discussion, discourse, and all of that other, to actually see it and experience it the way people live it, through their conversations, through their meals, through their gatherings, through their remembrances. This director was brilliant. I marvel at the way he captured those things. And I wondered, how did he do that? Those very personal moments, very, very personal moments. I thought it was just beautiful. I love this film.
And I want to be sure to acknowledge that you've recently been named the Dean of the College of Fine Arts at Howard University, your alma mater. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a new chapter.